It's unfortunate, but the reality that we tend to do worse things to cover up for our mistakes rather than trying to right our wrongs. Hello, lovely viewers, and welcome to another interesting upload on Sad Reality TV. My name is Mianu Mevis, and this is my channel. If this is your first time joining, you are highly welcome. Today's story on Sad Reality is quite a heartbreaking story. We shall be discussing the story of Pastor Sunday, the pastor that was forced to marry his dead fiancée. Stay tuned with me, and I will be giving you the details of Pastor Sunday's story. In late 2020, Pastor Sunday, the founder of Life Transformation Prayer Ministry and a theology teacher, proposed to his girlfriend, Miss Chioma Success. It is said that the pair have been dating for the past 5 years. They actually met in a church conference and immediately fell in love and began dating. Chioma accepted the proposal and wedding plans began almost immediately. The two families were trying their best to make sure the couple had a mega wedding. As the marriage preparations were gradually going on, Chioma realized that she was pregnant and immediately told her would-be husband. But the pastor did not receive this news well. He was so mad and insisted that Chioma get rid of the pregnancy because his reputation as a pastor was at stake, and in addition, his church members were going to frown at his actions because that is really what he preaches against in his church. But it is like Chioma really didn't want to get rid of the pregnancy. She was not into it, and this eventually caused a little scuffle in the relationship. On the 24th of February 2021, the pastor invited Chioma over so they could talk things out and continue to finalize all the marriage plans so as to push through with the wedding. Before Chioma could arrive at the pastor's house, the pastor had already laced Chioma's drink with a strange substance. As soon as Chioma finished consuming the drinks, she immediately passed out, and the pastor went ahead with his plans and began getting rid of the pregnancy or causing an abortion or trying to remove the pregnancy. Midway into the process, Chioma began vomiting blood. Confused, he rushed Chioma to a nearby hospital and signed in with a different name and requested that the doctors continue with the abortion. Even though the doctors kicked against terminating the pregnancy and explaining how risky it was, he kept insisting that his reputation was at stake, that the doctor should continue with the process of terminating the pregnancy. And while the doctors were doing that, he went ahead to call Chioma's family to alert them that Chioma was admitted in the said hospital. But sadly, before Chioma's family could arrive at the hospital, Chioma was dead already. In a state of confusion and so devastated, the family didn't know what to think of. They were just so confused that Chioma just died. They decided to request for an autopsy, and when the autopsy results were released, that is when it was proven that that the pastor had laced Chioma's drink with a substance in order for her to go asleep so he could proceed with terminating the pregnancy. And eventually he was confronted with this truth and he broke down and confessed. He agreed that that is actually what he did. The family, Chioma was dead already, and the family had nothing to do at this stage, and all they could do was just to force the pastor to perform marriage rites on Chioma even though she was dead. And eventually her dowry and all traditional rites were done, and before Chioma's obituary, the pastor's last name Sunday was included in Chioma's name to show that she got married before she died. Sometimes we we preach virtue and practice vice. Chioma was eventually laid to rest on the 31st of August 2021. She died at the age of 32, and to the time of her death, she was working as a bank manager. Rumors has it that the pastor still owns his church and he still preaches in his church, and he is still currently a theology teacher. That is it, lovely viewers on Sad Reality TV today. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't, as a free way to support your girl. Hoping to hang around with you in my next video. Until then, so long.